I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Oops, the podcast. Dog Days of Summer. Giulio Gallerati here, joined by Ryan, is very, very strong, as well as polite. Lynch.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Check him out. Today we have a special guest. He's joining an elite group of people who have been on the show 3 times. We have Big G in town for G3. What's happening, Dad? Good to see you.
Good to be here. G3. I'm looking forward to it. Finally, it took us a while to get this going.
Yeah, I know. We've been trying to get it. We've been trying to get it coordinated. Get Big G back on the hot seat.
It's been a longer gap between 2 and 3 versus 1 and 2.
This is true.
In terms of your appearance. So it's been very highly anticipated. And you're back. And you're doing it.
Raring to go. Ready to snow. Got my motorbike hopping.
Nice.
The raccoons exist now. I connected with the local charity in Haddam. They have my number.
Okay, so tell us a little more about this. So the Haddam Raccoons, as you all know, Big G's sort of love child organization. They are they're doing good for the community.
Foraging for the good of the community.
Biker gang?
Yes.
So what's new with them?
Well, we have my first 2 members, your mother.
Nice.
And Zia Butch.
Nice.
So they've been recruited. And so I posted some stuff on Facebook's and Haddam Charities to, please contact me. I'm looking to, start an organization to do kind of community service work. I have a motorbike. I'd like us to, inviting people with motorbikes and motorcycles, kind of a motorcycle
a good gang.
A motorcycle gang.
Nice.
And so I signed it, I wrote them both and I signed it Big G.
Very nice.
So I got a call back from one of the charities, and it was a very nice lady. And, this is a bona fide charity, messing around. They do stuff for the community. And she said, okay, I read your thing, and so I'm interested. I said, good, can you help? She goes, okay, I can publicize what publicize your note looking for members.
Did she mention the raccoons? Was she like, if you and the raccoons decide you would like to go do whatever, we'll support you? Did she acknowledge the organization?
Well, she didn't say raccoons because she thought it was kind of a little silly,
Did she say that, or she was?
Well, no.
You could tell she was trying to avoid saying.
Yeah, she didn't want raccoons. She probably think, who is this guy? And she found out I'm a bona fide person. She kind of wanted to know that I'm not some nut.
I mean,
which I am.
Remains to be seen. Well, that's great. So
she was trying to keep it professional, and also my sense is she had these demands from people in the community to do stuff, and she needed more volunteers to do stuff. And she said, well, are you available if I need someone to do something? I think she had some person, maybe some older woman who needed my help. She said, can I give you her number and she can call you? And I said, sure. I didn't, and no one called me.
She's not yet called you.
I haven't gotten any calls yet for services, but.
Do you have an official hotline yet?
Well, I have my telephone number. I don't have a hotline, like a 911.
It would be nice if you knew that it was a raccoon call, so you could say, Haddam Raccoons.
Can I do that?
How can we assist you? We can maybe get you a separate line.
Okay, I didn't know that. Anyway, so the funny part of this is she said, okay, I'm going to post your thing and see if you have volunteers. She said, but, could we not put Big G? Because it's, I want to do community service, Big G, what do you pizza store, So she said, what is your name? I'll sign it Giulio. So she, try to professionalize it,
Well, yeah, the raccoons, I'm seeing a sort of Batman narrative start to unfold here, where the raccoons are effective and nimble and they're able to execute, but they kind of ignore all the local protocol. and thus they are sort of frowned upon by the establishment, but the people love them. When you see the raccoon signal in the sky, you know that Big G's nearby this moped.
So we'll see how it goes.
Where's your flute? You left it?
It's in the.
We got to get it from the other room.
Get my-
His flute. Mark, can you get his flute just so he has it, just in case? Guys, if you're in the Connecticut area and you need assistance in some way, the Haddam Raccoons are available to help.
You can post your phone number in the description of the episode if you like.
I think I
might not be a good idea.
might not be a good idea. Have them contact you, and then you can contact.
Okay, yeah. Let us know. You can message us or email us if you need Big G's. If you're sort of within a 50-mile radius of central Connecticut, it seems like a fair.
Indeed. And
All right. The raccoon call.
the raccoon call.
All right. Well, anyway, so you've been calling me and being like, "Hey, we got to talk about this on G3. We got to talk about this on G3, etc." So the first order of business, the donut store altercation. We want to hear about this, and I'm especially curious because this morning I saw something pretty cool at the corner store. I saw the guy who owns the corner store beating the shit out of some guy, dude.
What?
Really?
You're the corner guy here?
Yes,
You're right here,
this
right?
guy, and this guy's my boy. Like he would not just beat someone up. This guy must have been, and I kind of got the story later, and the guy was kind of just being a belligerent guy. He's not supposed to come in the store. He came in the store. He's yelling at him, whatever. Tells him to get out, won't get out. Before you know it, he's kicking the shit out of him. So I'm walking down the street and I just see, and this guy's he's not that big of a guy. But he's like stout. He has this like strong base, but he's short. This other guy's huge. And dude, he's just launching him in the face and like blood is, geez,
What?
At 10 o'clock in the morning, he's kicking the shit out of him.
Serious?
Yeah. And then I come in, I didn't like go into the fight. You know what I mean? And I just kind of stayed back. So he didn't know that I saw. So I came into the store in the afternoon and he just said, "What's up, baby?" And I'm like, "You aren't going to tell me that you got into a fight this morning? Like, that's not newsworthy to you?" I was like, "Dude, I saw you kicking the shit out of that guy." He's like, "Ah, yeah, he's a crackhead." I was like, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
So anyway, I saw that today, and it reminded me that if you had been there, perhaps it would not have escalated, because apparently you are a great mediator, and in what may be the Haddam Raccoons' first actual
Charitable act.
Charitable act.
For the public good, for the
Tell us about
community.
it.
Well, so I was at a highway stop, and I walk in, and there's the little, Dunkin'. There's a little Dunkin' Donuts, kind of, how in these. It's a
small roadside mountain.
roadside kind. It's not a big, yeah. So there's just a counter, and the cashier, and I see them arguing, yelling at each other, and the guy behind the counter is going, "Man, that's not how you ask for a donut. That is not how you ask for a donut." And then the guy's going, "No, I asked the right way. I asked the right way. It's you. You're the problem." Then they started yelling. And I had like a kumbaya moment. I felt like, okay, come on, figure there's the war in the Middle East. And I'm saying, look, guys, there are people dying in the Middle East. No, this is the absolute truth. Why are you laughing? It's true. There are people dying in the Middle East. They're killing each other. And you guys are fighting over a donut.
You said this?
And I said, "Come on, bring it in here. Bring it in." So these two, I think they were two kind of like South Asian guys. And the guy behind the counter was a Hispanic guy. And I'm kind of like saying, "Okay, bring it in, guys. Let's bring it in. Let's hug. Let's all hug." And the guy behind's going, "You're right. Okay." And they go, "No, but you did." I said, "Come on, guys. let's
Put our differences aside.
Let's love one another. People are killing each other. We need to get along, okay?" I go, "Okay." And they calmed them down. They left. And I go, "Wow." They were pretty angry. I said, "How about a coffee? How about a free coffee?"
Nice.
And he goes, "And I'll give you a donut." So I got a donut out of it. So
You see, you asked for the coffee.
yeah, I asked for the coffee. I said, "Can I get a coffee for free?" I mean, and then he goes, "I'll give you a donut." And so what's the moral of the story? good deeds, good guys can finish first. Good deeds get rewarded.
Yeah.
You know,
Foraging for not only the public good, but for the public snacks as
for
well.
safety, for like creating love in the world.
So you all hugged each other.
And we're all hugging in there.
He leaned over the counter. You all hugged.
Bring it in.
That's great. So then what did the guy say after the other two guys left? Did he carry on about how they were rude, or
Yeah,
he?
it's kind of assholes. I had to say, no, man, it's all right. It's all good.
I talked to a lot of comedians, many of whom aren't big investors.
Big investors.
Let's just say they haven't done much investing in themselves financially or for the future. Oftentimes, because they don't have a lot of money. But I try to remind them that you don't necessarily need a lot of money to start investing.
You don't.
A little bit of money over time goes a long way. That's kind of how it works. We've all seen Shawshank Redemption. You chip away at it over time, and eventually you have a whole escape plan. But to any of those comedians and to some of our listeners who identify with this profile that we have described, you are in luck because
Today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. Acorns makes it easy to start automatically saving and investing for you, your kids, and your retirement. You don't need a lot of money or expertise to invest with Acorns. In fact, you can get started with just your spare change. Acorns recommends an expert-built portfolio that fits you and your money goals, then automatically invests your money for you. And now, Acorns is putting their money into your future. Open an Acorns Later IRA and get up to a 3% match on new contributions. That's extra money for your retirement.
Acorns is great. You're slowly kind of accumulating your investments over time, and you're not even really noticing. That's the beauty of it. It's set up in a way where you can slowly invest in your future without really feeling it on a day-to-day basis, which is sort of like the ideal scenario. So that's a beautiful thing. Anyway, head to acorns.com/oops or download the Acorns app to start saving and investing for your future today. Paid client endorsement compensation provides incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. View important disclosures at acorns.com/oops. You guys went to a wedding this weekend. How was it?
Yes, we went to a wedding yesterday. Two of my students in prison. I had them in prison about 10 years ago.
We need a little bit of backstory. He teaches this a course in prison. It is a accredited course.
It is indeed, and I've been teaching in the prison program for more than 10 years. I teach at Cheshire Correctional Institute for Men, taught there three times, and I just finished a course in New York Correctional Institute for Women just this spring.
In New York?
It's the third. No, it's called York.
York.
It's in Niantic, Connecticut.
Got it.
So they're both in Connecticut. So I just finished this one. Yeah, no, it was great. Me and Mom were on the dance floor knocking it down.
Getting ready for my wedding.
We're practicing. We're getting ready for the boom boom room.
That's right.
Boom, boom,
That's right.
boom, boom, boom.
Do you have a go-to Big G move?
He does.
Is that like the Ryan?
No.
Ryan Pro?
Yeah, it's like the Prue, but you're here. Let's see if I have room to do it. Do you mind if I do your move?
You know my move? I sent you. We were dancing in Coney Island.
His move is just right here.
Mom's cracking up. Is that a tool move?
No, you can talk. You can talk to people while dancing like that.
That's your move.
That's
I
great.
don't have a move, and I would like to have one. So hopefully I will get there one day.
Mom has rhythm.
Mom is a good dancer.
Mom is a great dancer. Fantastic dancer.
She's here and she's cracking up in the corner, which I'm enjoying. Excellent. So I have written down here, and I don't remember what this is, but this is called asking for free food from Chipotle. Did you do this?
I might have. I don't remember. I've had a lot of trouble with Chipotle.
So tell me more. Lynch, literally, no one has had more trouble with Chipotle than Lynch.
I will disagree.
Okay. Well, what happened? We're on the
way
same
more.
team. We don't need to argue about this.
No, but Lynch is more like it's some systematic problem with the model, I think.
Lynch, yeah.
Mine is, this particular one is run really badly.
So what's going on?
They never have enough vegetables. They make just enough of the sauteed vegetables and they run out. So I have them in my tacos. And if there's no vegetables, I can't have a taco because I like the
So they're
sauteed-
just completely out of them.
They'll be out of them and they won't make
Peppers
them
and
again.
onions.
They'll
Right,
make it a
right.
couple, then that's it, okay? And then once they were actually out of guacamole. how do you be out of guacamole? That's like
It's one of the core things.
that's like Chick-fil-A being out of chicken. You know, it's like
Yes.
you cannot.
Yes.
That's
yes.
like, yeah, guac is just,
That's it. You got to
That's
pay
it.
extra for it though.
that sucks. Sometimes we sneak it by. You know, they throw it in there. And
If you mediate an altercation.
yeah.
How about some free
If
guac?
I break up a robbery, I get all the guacamole I can eat that day.
I think the guacamole costs more than a donut potentially.
Oh,
Don't
guacamole is very expensive.
$2.90, just under $3.
the guacamole?
$3 for the X for the side of guac. Cup of guac. But then they never have enough chips.
Yeah.
Now, how can you eat guacamole without chips?
It's a good question. I know.
Who eats guacamole without chips?
It's ridiculous.
Mom, that's her favorite thing. Sometimes that's all she eats.
The chips are very good at Chipotle, I will say, guys.
They're very
They've
good.
gotten sloppy though.
What? Tell me more, Lynch.
You never know what you're going to get when you go. I don't know if you've experienced this, but sometimes they're cold. Sometimes there's not enough salt. Sometimes there's no lime juice squeezed into the
Sometimes they're
bag.
stale.
Sometimes they're stale, and
I hate when
sometimes
they're not crunchy.
and sometimes they're not there.
A lot of times they're not there. And then, sometimes once what, no chips? He goes, don't worry. He went in the back and got me chips. I said, why don't you put them out? Why don't you put them out?
The secret chips.
Yeah.
Those are reserved for the raccoons.
But just like, just for special guests, yeah. And then there's soda, okay? There's soda. They never have enough. They never have ice. Their ice machine's been broken for months. And sometimes they just don't fill it up, no ice. And then for at least 2 months straight, their Coke was flat. It was flat.
Unacceptable.
Fountain soda. And I spoke to the manager and I said, maybe you can adjust the mix between the carbon and the syrup. And she nodded, and it was flat for another month. And then, but it's the only game in town, so we have no choice.
As far as that type of cuisine.
Yeah, there's only Chipotle in Middletown.
Is it franchise? Probably. Some dude probably owns it, and he just doesn't give a shit.
Of course.
We could find them.
We can track him down.
Anyway, no, it's right. But it's funny, I was eating every day for at least a month or 2 months. I was eating there every day. But this happens, I chain eat. A couple of years ago, I was eating at Taco Bell every day for a month. And it's just, yeah, and that's how I roll.
Yeah.
Was that like intentional or was
I
it
don't know, it
a
just happens. I
coincidence?
develop a taste for something and have to have it every day, and then I lose it after a month or two.
Sushi
Except
still.
for Japanica. Sushi, oh.
She forget about it. Okay, we need to get to the root of your sushi anxiety. So what Big G does, when we sit down for a nice sushi meal, we begin eating it, and he immediately is fearful of the end of the meal. Let's talk through this problem.
Why?
You're worried about when the meal is going to be over because you're enjoying it so much.
Yeah, it's kind of like having your cake and eat it too. You don't want to eat it because you want to keep looking at it. But yeah, I like sushi, obviously.
Is that why you like to order ginger so often? Because you want to prolong the meal?
Yes, actually, but I also like the taste of ginger.
Big ginger eaters, big tea drinkers.
Like, keep it coming. One thing I do that is kind of like what I do. I've done it since you were small. I always kind of like promote in a way that like has sensationalized food. Okay, guys, now we're going to have the best peaches ever. These are the best. The best peach. And they, no, it's not the best. And we do a pear break. This is the best pear. Every time I do something, it's the best that ever was. It's the best I ever had. It just carry on that way.
Best chicken soup, the best this.
Well,
the
that
best.
was to get you guys to eat it. Because I wanted you guys, okay, guys, this is so good.
Right. You like teaching?
I do.
And then, so if the day comes, where you are scaling back your class load, and do you think that you will be able to easily fill your time with hobbies or whatever you want to do?
But I was thinking of getting a pilot's license. Moms, you can't drive. Can't drive.
Yeah,
Unless you fly.
You're a conservative driver, so
Very
maybe that means. So, what is this obsession with aviation? My mom is doing thumbs down
I
in the
don't
corner.
know. I've also wanted, get up there,
What about, so just being in the plane itself will not scratch the itch. You need to be the one operating the aircraft.
Yeah. Look, I got to, get my feet wet, take some lessons and see how it's, it's expensive. And actually it's, it's kind of like, it could be disappointing in that it's very regimented. And there's just a lot of like, even before you take off, it takes 30 to 45 minutes to check all the planes. There's procedures about checking everything, going through the procedures, checking your instrumentation.
And you are responsible for that?
Yeah, it's very regimented. So after that, after 40 minutes, you go, and then there are procedures on where you can fly, how high you can fly. So it's very, so it's not as recreational.
Not as sexy as it sounds.
Is that what you wish you could be doing?
It's not like
Doing
Tom
flips
Cruise
and
or
barrel
what's
rolls?
that movie he made?
Top Gun?
Top Gun. Yeah, it's not Top Gun. So finding out that it's way more structured, but still the idea of kind of flying into Martha's Vineyard with Mom.
She's thumbs downing.
Thumbs down.
She'll
Flying there
meet
with
you there.
you or somebody, having lunch at Martha's Landing, having lunch at and then flying back. That's cool.
That's cool.
What about investing in a flight simulator and getting a big monitor, and then you don't have to worry about the 40 minutes of checking things off boxes before getting clearance to go into the air? You just press start and then move into the air, and then try doing a flip.
I had a phone app actually flying. It was pretty cool. And so I was looking in my phone and flying. But after a while, I love when I have dreams that I'm flying. I'm flying without a plane.
You're just flying.
I'm just like, oh my God, you brought us to virtual reality down in Soho or something.
Yeah.
And Mom was like, it's funny, she's there with this simulator, and I see her just waving frantically. She thought she had like knives and she was cutting boxes. And me, I was just walking off like
The plank.
20th plank and just floating. Oh my God. I love virtual reality.
We got to get you a virtual reality headset.
You become a streamer.
Or go back to that place.
I think that place may have closed.
Oh,
But if it's still there, we'll take you back. Yeah. And the stuff's getting better and better. So I bet you the things that we could do now are even better than they were before. So maybe this could be
Mom
a good.
loved it. Mom loved it.
That's fun. And you did the dancing thing too. I remember, Mom. Okay. Well, I've noticed you're a pretty good flyer in general. Like Big G can sit in the back of the plane in a middle seat on like a long haul flight and sleep the whole time.
You mean fly bitch? I hate flying bitch.
Well, everybody does, but you're durable. Like you always like one of his superpowers is he'll take this long flight and he'll be there the next day. And I'm like, how you feeling? He goes, I feel great. He's like, I slept the whole flight. He'd be like, nobody was next to me.
Oh yeah. When I get that, well, I'm always trying to switch out, trying to, get some seats in the back, score seats, talk to the stewardesses, can you, get me here, there, there, there. I never get upgraded like you. You're really lucky.
Well, but like on international flights, I would not be getting upgraded either. I don't think I've flown first class internationally one time when I was doing a job. Otherwise, it's always been like back of the plane, and it's like hard to sleep, and you wake up, it's 6 a.m. when you get there, and I'm all fucked up.
Really? Because you fly so much, I figure you'd be used to it by now.
I'm bad at sleeping on the plane. I'm trying to get better at it. You know what this guy said to me? I said it on the plane. You could use this line. You might think it's funny. Like a dude sat next to me on my flight the other day and sat down and looks at me. He goes, "You're not the hot blonde I was hoping for."
Oh, I remember that.
Good line. But yeah, no, I don't sleep though. But my secret is like, if I get somewhere or whatever, I take a nap, but I make sure that I'm awake for dinner and I leave the hotel for dinner, and then I come back and go to sleep, and then I'm good for the whole trip usually, in case anybody was wondering for some tricks. All right, what else do you want to do in your, I don't want to say retirement, and because as your son, retirement sounds scary to me because they say that once people retire, they tend to slow down a lot. And, I want you guys to be healthy and youthful forever. So anyway, so what kind of shit are you going to do besides flying?
Alaska adventure.
Alaska.
But you're the one organizing it, so you tell me, man. I'm game with your idea of
I'll
the Arctic
organize.
Circle.
Yeah, it's a fun idea.
Small planes, yeah.
It's a fun idea. It's just, it's going to be expensive and time consuming, and time and money are two things that are scarce to me these days. So it may not be the best time, but at some point I'd like to do it.
Well, I'm going to, cover some of the stuff.
I know, but still covering some of the stuff doesn't necessarily, call to me. And
it's the time.
It's both of those things. But regardless, the idea would be go to Alaska. He wants to do a sort of fishing trip where they fly you into the bush. The bush may not be the right, that's an Australia term maybe, but they fly you out to some lake.
Desolate place
Where you can only reach by seaplane. There's bears around.
Grizzlies are eating while you're fishing.
You and the Grizzlies are competing for the local salmon as they make their final trip upstream. And he wants to spend a couple days doing that. I have some stuff in Alaska that I'd like to do. There's some good national parks. Same deal. You can only access them by plane, blah, 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 blah. So it's a fun trip.
We will do it.
And even if we don't, you should do it.
Well, I want to do it, but I want us to do it.
It would be fun to do it.
I told Mom, but she's not game on
Mom, you should do it.
spending time with Grizzlies. She's not a fisher person.
A fisherwoman.
Fisher
Well, you
cat.
guys, this is the thing. You guys can separate for the day. I mean, there's some real, okay, I have some recommendations. You could go to Kenai Fjords, the southern part of Alaska, and there's a big boat. Like, remember when we went to Peterhof in Russia? We took that boat. You take that same kind of boat, and you drive around the Arctic, like the Arctic Ocean and the bay of whatever it's called. And you see the sort of bright green, freezing ass water, and they take you to a bunch of glaciers and icebergs. You see whales, you see whatever the hell, and they even make you little margaritas out of the glacier ice. They pull it out, you go 2-3 hours. It's really pretty, easy to drive to from Anchorage, and there's really nice things that you can stop at on the way. And one of the days you can leave her at the hotel if you stay there's one ski resort. It's in Girdwood. It's nice. It's not expensive. You guys stay there. She can hang around the hotel. You take your little plane.
Well, I don't think she's going to go, but me and you, for sure. We're going to do it. We're going to promise to do it.
Okay. Well, it sounds like
She's our witness.
Sounds like a good time. I would like to do it, but we got to figure it out. So anyway, all right. Well, what other shit? What else? Okay. But okay, so there's other things that I've heard you say that you're obsessed with or interested in. So one of them is mopeds or motorcycles. No, you've sort of satisfied that craving. You want to fly. You also like guns.
Yeah, well, there's only so many places I can shoot.
Would you carry if you lived in a state like Texas?
Probably not.
Once again, simulator. Get a VR headset. You can do all these things.
At one point, I went to buy a .22 rifle. You don't actually need a license for a .22, but you got to do paperwork to own it, a .22
So,
rifle.
just do it.
Yeah, well, I did. Where am I going to shoot it?
In the woods? I shot a gun. Our neighbors had a gun, and we went and shot it. I found it to be a pretty underwhelming experience, but I know some people are into it. Okay, so I guess last thing, I want to get to the root of why you don't like the nickname Achik. My brother and I call Big G Achik. It's one of our nicknames for him.
Mom doesn't call me Achik.
I said Alessio.
Oh, Alessia calls me.
Well, he calls you other stuff.
He calls me Horatio Green.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
It doesn't mean anything.
It's just an Alessio.
What does Horatio mean anything?
Horatio's a name.
Okay.
So Horatio Green.
And then his nicknames evolve over time. Then he was from Horatio Green. He did the Italian Orazio, and now it's just Oraz. He calls me Oraz. Was Oraz home?
Well, Achik is also a progression nickname that we have.
You started, okay. Lee Matey called his father Bass Chicken.
Is that where it started?
Yeah.
I think Lee Maythree,
Called his father Bass Chicken.
he did.
And then you started calling me Bass Chicken. And then from chicken, Ajik.
No, Bass Chicken, Bass Achik.
Bass Achik. That's where it came
Then
from. Then
Achik.
Achik. First, Bass Chicken, Bass Achik, and then Achik.
I don't know that Lee called his dad Bass Chicken.
Yes, I remember
thought
that. I remember really because you started calling me names, and I went, where did that come from? Because Lee started calling his father Bass Chicken.
But it's an endearing. We're not like
Really
making
endearing.
fun of you, Bass Chicken.
Achik.
Achik. Hillary does not like that nickname either. By the way, if that makes you feel
What,
better.
Achik?
Achik. She goes, I
You
hate
told her
Achik.
you called me Achik?
She's heard us.
Oh, my God.
Achik. So anyway, why you just don't like the way it sounds?
You know what? As a kid, I made up nicknames for all my friends. I was the nickname, so I'm getting it back. And some of the names they didn't like there was this kid, he called him Joe. His name was Joe, but I said, you run like a chicken. So they started calling him Joe Chick Chick to this name.
Oh.
He's in his 60s, Joe Chick Chick.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you get.
And so his little brother, I called him the little chicken. When I'd really make him piss him off when I go, here comes the president of the United States, And then I do dun, 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 dun. So I did that to my friends, and I'm getting it back.
Yeah, you get what you give, as they say.
Indeed, indeed.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. Is there anything else you wanted to mention while we have you here for this precious time?
No, I love your new place in Greenpoint. Big up to moms for putting up with my craziness.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Mom.
And we have actually, I call her Poopa. Have a nickname, Ryan?
Bubs.
Bubs. And you're Juji.
I know. Hillary will be embarrassed if I do this on the show. I can't.
What?
If I can't disclose our nicknames for each other, she'll be embarrassed.
Okay.
But shout out Hill Dog. Shout out to everyone, and hit us up. oopspodcast@gmail.com. At Oops the Podcast. Buy some merch. Big G's rocking the Oops tee. We also have it in black. It's a great one. I'm wearing the slide in the DM tee. Go ahead.
Whistle us out.
Come see me at the stand on the 18th. I'm running some of my new stuff. It should be a lot of fun. Yeah, the 18th, 8 p.m. If there's still tickets, come out. Also, the August 3rd in Pasadena, California, and the 20th and 21st, St. Pete, Florida. Lynch, what about you? What do you got coming up?
Check me out for updates at Ron is Really Polite.
Thank you. Goodbye.